let's check these things out. Welcome back, guys. Now you saw the pop-up. Ginault has sent these two watches in for us to have a look at and review. I only have to send one back. However, apart from that, they have zero input into this video. Everything I'm telling you, everything I've been saying here, it's all from my own heart. It's my own input, my own research. I'm going to tell you straight up what I think of these watches. As far as the past is concerned, a shady past, yes, no. Look, guys, I really don't know. There's smoking guns here and there, but at the end of the day, you guys need to make your decisions. As far as the watch, as far as from what I can tell, the watch community, people who are actually buying these particular watches, they love them. They love them for the finishing, the quality, the detail, tolerances, the whole bit. So let's get straight stuck into these watches and see what we've got. So as you can see, there's two different types of watches here. They both look very similar, but the main difference, one's a traveler, one's a diver. This has a 12-hour bezel, this has a diver's bezel. So apart from that, the case dimensions, diameters, everything's exactly the same. So what we have is a case diameter. I measure exactly 40 millimeters with the bezel coming in at 41 mil. The case height, I measure exactly 12 millimeters. We have a lug-to-lug distance of 47.9 and a lug width of 20 mil. Now the crown is a signed screw-down crown. It is 7.2 millimeters and it offers 300 meters of water resistance. And the total weight, sized to my 18 centimeter wrist, comes in at 140 grams. And as you can see on the wrist, the watch fits quite comfortably. Being a 47.9 lug-to-lug, it's quite good, albeit that bracelet features male end links and extends that lug-to-lug to 50.6 mil. But on my 18 centimeter wrist, it seems to fit quite nice. Now the height coming in at 12 millimeters exactly is really good. And that bracelet, which tapers from 20 to 15.3 at the clasp, again, another comfortable experience. But look, for me, I'm seeing a watch that's got a lot of Rolex DNA. From that case, that bracelet, that clasp, it's screaming Rolex. Albeit, the bezel, the handset, the dial, the crown, they are different. Now speaking of that bracelet, as you can see, it does taper from 20 mil all the way to 15.3. It has a clasp that features a on-the-fly adjustment. So we pull that out. Pretty much the same system as Rolex, and as you can see, it closes, a flip lock, and there you go. So as far as fit and comfort, the watch is very comfortable. The watch also features screw pins, and the quality and the ease of use is extremely easy. So really well finished, good tolerances. I really can't complain about the quality finishing of the case and the brushing. Now if we look at the bezels of both watches, like I said, one of them is a diver, one of them is a traveler. So this particular one here is a diver. It's a 120 click unidirectional, and the action is extremely fine. There's just that little bit of back play, but overall you can feel that it's dampened really nicely and it lines up. Whereas the traveler itself is a 12 click and it's a bi-directional bezel. So it goes, as you can see, left and right. And one of the problems I've had with this is the actual bezel itself is a little bit too soft. It seems to, if you set it here and you're wearing the watch, you might find it here 2 hours later or here. So it does move very easily without much effort. Both the bezel inserts are sapphire and they are lume filled, as are those hands and markers, and the lume on the watch is exceptional. The lume is actually very bright. To me it looks like BGW9. Long lasting, very crisp, and a very good application everywhere. Now both watches feature Sellita SW200s Elaborate grade, and they seem to be in-house regulated. There's no date complications on either of the watches, and I've had them both on a time grapher, and one watch is running at +1 second per day, the other one at +7, +8. So there's a slight variation in their regulation, albeit they might be samples, I'm not sure. Now the crown on both watches is 7.2 millimeters signed screw down. It offers 300 meters of water resistance, and if we unscrew it, as you can see, it pops out a single click and you can see nothing happens. It's got a ghost position, and that's a bit of a bummer. The second click, you can see we hack the movement, and we can adjust the time. Lock it in, it starts again. The hand winding experience is really nice. It's actually beautifully dampened from that Sellita, and the latch down experience on both watches, it's first time, it's buttery smooth, a real pleasurable experience. So the tolerances of the watches are really good. There's nothing really to fault there. Now both the watches are going to come in at a promotional pre-order price, a phase 1 price. I'll leave the links in the description, get on their website and you can have a look at that. Now all watches feature positives and negatives, and these ones here aren't exempt, and there's a couple of negatives that I want to point out. First and foremost, the bezel on the Traveler, the 12-hour bezel, it's a little bit too soft. As you can see, first and foremost, it's so easy to move. It does lock into place, but I actually wore this at an event. I was photographing Mercedes at Sandown just recently, and I wore this on the wrist, and I found that just by putting my hand in and out of the camera bag, that the watch itself, the bezel would move. The bezel was not found in the position that I'd left it. So you don't really need to knock it very hard or bump it to actually get that bezel to move. So that's number one. The consistency of regulation between the two watches. This particular one here is running at +7 seconds. This is running at +1 second. So there's a bit of inconsistency there. I would have expected at this price point for both of them to be at least plus or minus 2 or 3 seconds, but it is what it is. It might be a sample, I'm not sure. Another negative, which I see a lot of people might find that a positive, and that's the DNA, the Rolex DNA. For me, I'm not a real homage fan as far as when it comes to watches that replicate so closely to a case or a bracelet this close to a common brand, a current brand that we have. But people love that. The quality is good, the finishing is exceptional. You're basically getting a really well finished watch for 1/10 of the price of what you'd get a Rolex. And in saying that, there's no way you can actually buy a Rolex these days anyway. So if you look at these things as homages, or obviously they're different, but as far as the case and the bracelet, you're getting that experience on the wrist without having to buy a Rolex. Not that you can at retail anyway. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Once again, hit me up in the comments of these watches. Let me know what you think of the brand if you've had experience. The quality of the watches are very good. I cannot fault them. The price, a little bit on the steep side, and I think at that price it would have been great to see something without a ghost position on that movement. Thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Leave me your comments and we'll see you all in the next video.